What's up, guys? How are you this morning? Interesting weekend we had. Stimulus bill going through and whatnot. So I saw markets last night around 6 p.m. kind of going crazy. This morning, I think we're still down. Why don't we just take a look real quick? Let's see what we're doing here. Okay, I guess Dow is positive, NASDAQ's negative, which is, we're still going to continue this little NASDAQ issue that we've been having, and that's kind of some stuff I want to talk about this morning before we get going on some stocks. So it's funny, you see this rising interest rates are a good sign for stocks. Last week they were a bad sign. It seems like everybody's just a little bit, everybody has their own opinion. So rising interest rates mean rising borrowing costs, obviously, which doesn't sound great for the markets. Okay. Higher yields become more attractive, means that people are not going to invest in stocks as much. Okay, not as good. But this guy makes a great point. Financial markets are a lot more complicated than that, and that is definitely true. So we can see that since the start of February, $163 billion has been put into the market. So there is money coming into the market. I haven't checked on this, but he says that history shows that equity funds generally experience inflows when real rates are rising. And we do have the rates rising. Let's just take a look at the rates real quick. Let's see what we got. So at the start of the year, I'm going to look at the 10-year. We were just under 1%. And as of today, as of Friday, we're 1.56. So we're up about, 50 bips or something like that. So, but if you look since the beginning of, when were we at 1%? I mean, this is not a very high interest rate right now. It's going to continue to climb, I guess, but this is not something that should be moving markets. There's a lot more things that should be dropping the NASDAQ and tech and pharmaceuticals more than this. So the one thing that I did want to show you guys, from our perspective, rising rates can mean the bond market is correctly anticipating future economic growth and staying ahead of inflation. So I guess he's saying if you look at history, we're on the right path. I find it funny that Janet Yellen came out on Friday and said that, and she's U.S. Treasury Secretary now. She was chairman of the Fed prior to Jerome Powell. I believe she was definitely appointed under the Obama administration, and then Trump had replaced her with Jerome Powell. She said on Friday that higher long-term Treasury yield debts were a sign of market participants, and that we're anticipating a stronger recovery and not inflation concerns. So everybody has their own opinion. Something that really stood out to me in this article, though, is she said that the United States needs faster job growth than seen in February. The unemployment rate did come down a touch, but we can reach full employment next year with this $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. Now, the problem I've had with any stimulus bill is the way that they've set it up is that they're extending unemployment benefits. This was to expire, I think it was actually to expire today, but now it's going to expire, I think, in September. So the problem that I'm seeing is that we're not creating jobs and we're not incentivizing people to go back to work. So I'm not sure how we can get back to full employment from that point, but I don't know. We'll see. And that's no knock. I mean, Republicans and Democrats are doing it exactly the same. And I'm not trying to be political about it, but we need to, I think that if we want to create jobs, then we need to incentivize the business going on. All right, so a good chunk of the stimulus money. So they are saying that from this, we're going to be putting money into the market from the 1.9 trillion. It's very possible, but let's move on. I don't know what we'll see in the markets this week, so let's just roll with it. You guys give me some stocks that you want to look at, and we'll go ahead. And this was another funny one that I saw. We're going to, instead of buying the dip, they want us to sell off the bounce now. So all these kind of different, everybody has their own opinion of what's going on. I don't really think that inflation all of a sudden is a problem. I think inflation fears have been a problem for a very long time. I don't know why they're coming to the forefront right now, but that's the new story. I guess there's first we went from the China trade. I always say there needs to be some kind of big story. China trade was a very long time. That was probably 2 years. Then the coronavirus came along. That was the new one. And now maybe this is the new big story that's going to be the narrative of the market. I'm not really sure. But that is how we go. AT&T is getting into a prime position for a long. Let's check out AT&T. Oh, good find, Bogdan. This is something that I want everybody to put a tracker share on and see what we can do. Because we are coming up through this. We're trying to break into the sweet spot area. We're over all 4 of our major moving averages, which I like. If we can just get some kind of engulfing candlestick like that today and break out over right there, you should be good. I mean, this is setting up very nicely. Good find, Bogdan. BP with a gap down. Can we go over it again? Zach loves BP. I own a lot of BP, but Zach likes it and cares about it way more than me. Zach, you're going to get this with oil. I mean, oil's another one where you're going to have the narrative that's always going to be there with oil, especially with the new thing about electric cars. People are going to say oil's in style, oil's out of style, oil's not going anywhere. It's just not realistic. And the big thing that I think that everybody needs to look at is the whole deal with Workhorse and Oshkosh and the U.S. government. The biggest thing that we need to look at is and say from that is no matter who got the Workhorse deal or Oshkosh, it really doesn't make a difference. The big thing that we need to look at as far as EVs go is the government should be leading the charge if we want to put more EVs on the road. And what that deal was is that they're going to replace 10% of the United States Postal Service fleet by 2035, and they're going to start production in 2033, and they're going to start production in 2023. So we just need to, the government's not necessarily leading the charge on it and saying that they're going to replace 100% of their vehicles. So I'm sure eventually we will get to all battery powered, and battery powered cars are awesome. I think they're really fun to drive and they're pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Tesla as a company from a financial standpoint, but I really love Elon Musk. I think they make a great product. Their cars are very cool, but I think we need to be realistic on, is oil going to go away? And the fact that the Postal Service is only going to replace 10% of their vehicles by 2033, it's going to be hard to get consumers into those cars unless something big changes. But I don't know. We'll see. Electric cars are cool. I'm sure I'll have one eventually. They're pretty neat. So let's look at BP. The reason that I zoomed out is that we have yeah, you're right. Ruru 2. EV needs charging stations and batteries, and that's the biggest hurdle. The biggest upside, the reason that Tesla will not have a legit competitor for a very long time, is that they have the infrastructure across the country and across other countries of charging stations. Nobody else has that, and nobody else is even close to making a dent with that. And to be honest, Tesla's done that relatively quickly. I think it helps having a CEO that really, really, really thinks out of the box. For better or for worse, he thinks out of the box and he gets things done. So with BP, let's get back to this. We have a resistance line right there. Tried to pop through it back in April after we had that big sell-off of oil and couldn't get through. So we're coming back up. This is going to be tough to get through. I believe it can get through there, because we've actually had pretty decent volume over the past, with the exception of a few days, pretty decent volume. But all we need is candlesticks like that getting through. If we can break through and fill this gap right here, straight across, it's about $30. Actually, let me get an accurate price for you on this BP This high was 31.30. So if that can break 31.30, and if you're trading this, write that number down, then you will be kind of smooth sailing on BP, and hopefully you can get up to this 35 range. If that would be perfect for me, because I'm already in the hole on BP. I've been in it since 2014 collecting the dividend, but yeesh. Llewellyn, Porsche has a feature of theirs that can add sound when you drive. Yeah, that's true. I heard that. I know that Elon Musk talked about that, and I know Cadillac has something like that as well. What's up, Seth? Let's see. Microsoft. We can do Microsoft. Microsoft's, I'm sure, going to be selling off because it's one of the leaders of the tech sector. So if you put together Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, Netflix, Google, yeah, those five, I guess, that made up for 45% of the rise of the stock market in the past 5 years. Just those 5 or 6 stocks. So as something goes up, it's going to bring it back down just as easily. So I want to zoom out on Microsoft just so I can see where the support levels are. Yeah, there's one in here. So if we draw a line straight across, we have these 3 peaks, 1, 2, 3. And we're kind of sitting right there right now. And that coordinates with the 50-day moving average. So the bad news, what we have going on for them, is that we have a downtrend over our long term. The good news is they're starting to pop up in the short term. So if you're trading this stock, this is definitely a short. Do not be long in this thing unless you're swing trading it. And if you're swing trading it, you're trying to grab money between $230 and about $237. That's all you're trying to get out of it. So do not don't be long in this thing right now. Don't be buying don't be buying the dip if you're going to be doing it from a chart reading perspective. And frankly, from a value perspective, let me see what I have Microsoft at. I'm going to do a 15% net present value. My price on let me do 10. My price on my high side price on Microsoft is $75. So Microsoft has a little ways to fall before they do something. I do believe that Microsoft is a company that is worth paying a premium for, but we shall see. It does have, you could see, I mean, the fact that it's been a big player in running the market up 45% means that it's going to be a big player in the running the market down a big percentage. FENG, what is this? Phoenix News Media. Holy moly. So when I talk about those gaps, look at this big gap here back in October. Another big gap up. My goodness. This is a big gap down. What is this thing? Jeez, oh man. All right, hold on a second. Let me zoom in here and kind of find out what's going on. So right off the bat, before I do anything, I'm using stops with this company because to me, there's something, I would say that it was going to be earnings, but I'm looking at this is October and September, say. And yeah, they move a lot on news, I guess. This has to be news because it's not earnings. So you got to play stops if you're going to use something like this. I mean, look at this moving average. These things, this is insane. I don't know what this is. Phoenix New Media. Who asked me about this? Skylar, tell me what this is. Oh, a Chinese new media, where was that? That works for the state. Okay. My recommendation for you is not to trade this, but that's on you. Just make sure you're using stops. Oliver, I don't do over the counter, and pretty much anything with 5 tickers is over the counter. What do you think of Shop's future after Amazon recently acquired sells a competitor? I don't think that Shopify is going anywhere. This is Shopify, right? Yeah. I don't think Shopify is going anywhere. Fantastic service. The thing that you got to look at when you're looking at something like this is how much of it's the same thing with Tesla. It's the same thing that, all right, I'll go back and look at the bid and ask. It's the same thing with Tesla. The massive, massive advantage that they have is that they have the infrastructure in the country with their charging system. The big thing that Shopify has is, I mean, any website that I go to where I'm buying from and the company is not using their own payment method, it's Shopify. So they have that staple of being within tons and tons of online retailers already. So to me, I can't say that I'm terribly worried about it. If there's anybody that can compete and take away from their big footprint, is going to be Amazon, just because they have the capital to do it and the marketing advantage to do it. But we'll see. I mean, I also look at Amazon saying they have their Alexa products everywhere, but it is 1,000,000 degrees in this office right now. Jesus. And Andrew comes in and he tells me that if I open the window, he's going to kill me. So, all right. So, I don't remember what I was talking about. All right, on to the next. Take a look at Pure Storage. It's also Kathy Wood. I will pass. KL. Kathy Wood sucks. I can't wait for Kathy Wood to be proven that she doesn't know what she's talking about in a few months. All right. Kirtland Gold. So all gold is, I mean, what's my 2021 outlook of gold? I can't really say what my 2021 outlook of gold is. I'm looking and saying that gold is going to eventually do well. I have a very, very large position in gold. I am going to be adding to it eventually. I have a lot of puts on gold, and that's the way I'm going to be adding to it. So do I think gold is going to be great eventually? Yes, I do. And I'm going to go and I just want to look at GLD. No, let me look at GDX. So GDX capped out, what price was this? 45. Yeah, I mean, around $45 back in June. This thing will go higher than $45 a share. And this is the gold miner ETF that Seth, stop. You're going to keep making me laugh. But I do like the name of that show. Every time gold gets some kind of run, it gets pulled down. So gold is going to do well. Let me look at this. GLKL, was that what it was? Kirtland Lake. Yeah, I mean, it looks exactly the same chart. Whoever asked this question, look at this. Remember this chart, and then I'm going to type in GDX. It almost looks exactly identical. GDXJ. Almost identical. Let's see what AU looks like. Look at that. All these golds look exactly the same. So you can go ahead and pick your favorite gold and go with it and see what happens from there. So let's see. Kathy Wood's to die. I don't want anybody to die. I'm just saying that Kathy Wood her portfolio is going to get hit pretty big. I'm wondering if she is invested the way that she is, or if she's just saying it and trying to pump up her ETFs and stuff. Okay. So, yeah, I'm bullish on gold. Dilution of the dollar, good for gold. Yep. I mean, historically, yeah, for sure. Multi-trillion stimulus and omnibus bill would drive up gold, probably. You know what's interesting, KC? Going back and looking at, I've held gold for quite some time, and it's been over a year. It was always whatever the market did and whatever the dollar did, gold would do the opposite. Big time. Almost in relation to what the dollar or the market did. Now, we are seeing that gold is moving with the market. So, I mean, if you have a down day in the market, you're seeing down days in gold, which is confusing to me. And I don't really have anything going back on history to look at this, but the bid and ask. Seth, I think you have yeah, we have a lot of, we've told Mason, who's doing our merch, I don't think he's here today, but we told him that that is merch. Someone needs to take Seth's keyboard away. Yeah, he's loving this. Mo's trying to show off the guns. I didn't work out on Saturday or Sunday because I pulled my groin and it hurts. But let me see here. What will we get with the Excel spreadsheet that you and Paul use for price targeting? So you're going to get our spreadsheet. You can put in all of your assumptions into this thing. I think we're going to give you a baseline of what our usual assumptions are, but you can change them just like we showed with the real estate calculator last Thursday, how you can slide bars going back, making your different assumptions. You're going to be able to do the same thing with our spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet is pretty awesome. What are your thoughts about NIO? NIO, I think, is... So, NIO is the car company that I think makes 7,000 cars per year. I think. Somebody told me that. Okay, they make a car, but I think their valuation is $61 billion. So that really doesn't make any sense. NIO's something that if it was me, I would day trade it. I would not invest in it because I don't think that they are a viable competitor of Tesla at this point in time. And I don't think that we should be buying speculation, hoping that things work out in the future, because that's not how a good investor does things. Unless there's some kind of there's something to be said for a little bit of speculation going to the future, but to say that a car company that makes 7,000 cars a year is going to compete with Tesla, who has an infrastructure all over the country, sells 500,000 cars a year, does all of this, it's kind of asinine to say. CCL dipped big last week, up again this week. CCL's fine, guys. We're up here. We are through the sweet spot. We're a little bit overbought. We're over all four of our major moving averages. You can see last week, yeah, I know NIO's a China company. This thing came down. I understand they're a China company, but they're going to sell in the United States. There's a lot of foreign car companies. 7K a month? Okay. It's still under 100,000 cars a year, though. So, no. I don't, and plus, Sentinel, let me know. Does NIO have charging stations around the country yet? That's what I really want to know. But going back to CCL, we dipped down. You can see, let me zoom in here just so you guys can see the power of... So they delivered 31, I'm bouncing back and forth here. Let's say 31,500 cars in 2020. That is a big increase. Were those cars delivered in China or the United States? Are there NIOs in the US? That's what I want to know. Okay, let me zoom in here just for you guys. So this is the power of moving averages, even something as small as a 25-day moving average. Look where CCL pulled down to, and it touched its 25-day moving average and bounced right back up, and it finished the day right here where this horizontal line is. So that's the power of moving averages. That's why when I say we're over all four of our major moving averages, it's very powerful to be over all of them. Okay, NIO's in China. Well, when NIO comes to the United States, I will be a little bit more inclined. Eddie, as far as Alibaba goes, I don't invest in Chinese companies ever because I don't trust their financials. They have a long history of fabricating numbers. And the most recent big example is Luckin Coffee, Google Luckin Coffee. But if you are so inclined to do this, you have a very strong resistance support line right here. So we can see that just it tried to break out. It did break out, but this is where it gapped up. So this gap needed to be filled eventually, and it was filled back here. So we're coming back down to this area of support. You are in a downtrend, so if you want to do something with this, you can short it and wait for an engulfing candlestick like that. Negative is that you're under all four of your major moving averages. So for this thing to push back up and get through $264, which is right about here, is going to be very, very difficult for you. So Luckin, what's LKCO and why will they be delisted? LKCO. Lukong. This is more Chinese. Man, what guys? I just don't understand. There's such great companies in the United States. Why are we buying? Why are we just so focused on Chinese companies when we know that they have a history of fraudulent activity, and it's a lot more prevalent than it is in the United States. I mean, yes, of course we have fraud here. There's fraud all over the world, but you have so many good companies to choose from here. Why would you go over there and use them? But AMAT, let's do AMAT. You guys should go and read about the Luckin Coffee deal. That happened I think about a year ago. They were fabricating their numbers. Apple, good one. I'll pick that one. Okay, so AMAT, it's not technically a downtrend yet because what is happening? Because we haven't broken through our 80% line with our red line. But if you want to short this, that's up to you. You can throw a tracker share on. And here I'll tell you guys, the bid and ask is 64 cents. So be very careful. Only $113,000 stock. So the good thing that you have going for you right now is that you are sitting at your 25-day moving average. So we'll see if that can hold. And we'll go from there with it. But do not do anything in this unless you want to put a tracker share on short. Virgin Galactic. No, let's look at Apple first. So Apple is in their oversold range. So if I'm anybody, I'm putting Carlos, I just did CCL. Go back maybe 5 minutes after the show's over. Go and look at it. We are definitely in our oversold range. If I'm doing anything with this, I'm putting a tracker share on to go long, and I'll see what happens. The 200-day moving average is 114 bucks, so I do not think that we'll drop below that unless something unforeseen happens. We keep doing this continuous sell-off of tech stocks. We're under our 100-day. I don't know. This is gonna be. It has a long way to go to get back to its previous highs of like $144, but I'd put a tracker share on. Apple's not something that I short ever. I'm not going to short something. I'm not going to short a FANG. It's just not a practical thing to do. And that's where you can lose a lot of money. I'm sure you can make a lot of money there, but Virgin Galactic, I think I just did a video on this, I think. It's a short. If you want anything, get an engulfing candlestick coming down. If it breaks below its 200-day moving average, you could probably make a lot of money. Eyes is active today. Is this some kind of pharmaceutical stock for eyes? Oh my goodness gracious. I wonder what Eyes does. Let's see. Oh, first one on the list. Let's see what they did. Big FDA news. What is the name of this company? Second Sight. So I'll show you guys how to look for pipelines. All you do is type in the company website, type in pipeline, and let's just go see what they do. I know a lot of you guys are like this kind of stuff. Just make sure when you're investing in pharmaceuticals, make sure you know what their pipelines are. Eyes are something that artificial vision. Interesting. Yeah, this is definitely something that's going to send stocks going crazy. Kind of looks like a cochlear implant for the eye. I mean, I know it doesn't work that way, but very interesting. To me, personally, I don't do eyes. I don't know anything about eyes. I don't know any physicians that do anything with eyes, so that's why we don't do anything with them. But I wonder if Microsoft would be affected by the email hacking. Maybe. All right, it's 30 seconds until the open. You guys give me a little bit more what you want. Apple had a gap up in July of 2020 and hasn't been down yet. Let me see what you're talking about. Apple had a gap up in July. Where's July? Oh, July of, oh, you mean July of last year, right here. And hasn't, oh, I see what you're saying. It hasn't filled that gap yet. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. WSM. You know what I want to look at again is the one that Spicer gave me on, what was it? Sprouts Food Market or something. Williams and Sonoma. You know what? I think I had something on Williams and Sonoma. WSM. Oh, never mind. Okay, if you want to do something with this, Spicer, you did have a sweet spot reversal. Very, very slightly. So what you need to do with this, I am not buying this until I get over this 139 number. So I really need candlesticks to move up for me like that. I want to break out above this high before I do anything. You could do it if you break out above this high right here, probably 135.50, something like that. But this is a little bit riskier trade just because your stochastic line is very, yeah, you could put a tracker share on it. Who's this guy? Geo. Let me see what Geo is. I don't know what Geo does. I've heard the name, but we are in a downtrend, oversold. If you want to, you can throw a tracker share on long. You are turning up on your weekly or your daily stochastic. We got a lot of moving averages to go through. So if you want to throw a tracker share on, get some engulfing candlesticks, you're probably not going to be adding shares until you get at least to like 8-10. But I think, yeah, I don't know. Stock Mo is the GOAT. I think you're trying to compliment me, but you just called me Stock Mo, so I'm not going to do Val. Viacom? We'll check out Viacom. All right. Ooh, I like Viacom. A little bit overbought. Going into resistance. So if you have this stock, you're going into this resistance line right here of 75.61. Take some profits when you get up there. Just because you are very overbought. So if you want to, let's see if I wonder if we have a power stock right here. Holy mother. Yeah, you have a beautiful power stock. Okay, so what a power stock is, guys, is a stock that is I'm just kidding, Carlos. A stock that is over all four of its major moving averages, these four lines, and making new all-time highs or 52-week highs, what have you. So here's our level right here. So right when it created up here and it started making these new highs, it became a power stock. And you can see just how tight, look how tight this cluster is. The tighter the cluster, the better off you are. So if you want to, you can add, if you make another all-time high today, that's going to be something over 75.61. So if you get like something like that, you are going to be, you're going to be good. Let your bid and ask settle down a little bit. You need, because it's a $75 stock, you need this to be 1 or 2 cents. I would probably say 1 cent. Let the manipulation settle down. It's only 933.5 right now. So you don't do anything on this except for take profits until 10:06 a.m. Eastern time. But make sure you're taking profits at 75.61. Final thoughts on Stamp. So stamps.com was interesting for me. The reason that I did not like Stamp is because how heavily dependent they were on the United States Postal Service. And the only reason that I didn't like that is because it made up such a large chunk of their revenue. And I think that stamps.com, although they have a big footprint and they're a great company, it's tough for me to pill to swallow. So I don't know. I think I do have a pretty good, let me see. This is something that Phoenix and myself, who is a top tier patron, we're looking at. I mean, my price on stamps.com right now, let me do it, 15% NPV, is $120 to $293. So it's sitting right in that range. It's just, when I was reading through the 10K, that's the kind of stuff that scared me. So from a technical perspective, though, we're sitting right at this big support line, and we're completely oversold. So if you want to do something here, put a tracker share on. Hey, Mason. There he is. There's our merch guy, Mason. If you want to do something, throw a tracker share on and just wait for this red line to go and start turning up. Once it gets over 32%, you could start buying it. And I'm assuming that's going to be somewhere in this gapped area. Tattooed Chef, I'm not going to do that one today. They don't rely on the... Yeah, Jay, that's the reason. That's the reason. Thank you. No, Jay corrected me. They don't rely on the United States Postal Service anymore. That's something that worried me. Because they needed to go and replace... I think they had to replace some insane amount of revenue that they got from the United States Postal Service. Jay, good call. That's what it was. Man, that was so long ago that we were looking at that. But you are absolutely right. I should do this every morning. I think I'd be more inclined to do it every morning if I had... Maybe I'll start when I move into my new house, and I'll put something in my house and do it every morning. We'll see, in my office. Gamestop. Let's look. Oh, we haven't looked at a 15-minute chart today. Nobody wanted to look at 15. What's Buzz doing? 23.50. Okay. What was it? Oh, GameStop. Oh, it actually had a pretty decent run this morning. What do we get to? We got to 165. It's GameStop time. I'm not doing GameStop again today. Maybe another day. Find me some of these short squeeze companies. Like find me a Rocket Mortgage before they gain 75% in one day. Then I'll be happy. Let's see, UPS. I'll look at UPS if you want me to. UPS. UPS is one of the... No, that was FedEx. Oh, okay. This is something. Throw a tracker share on this. And... Okay, let me zoom in over here. This is what I want to see. You guys, when I stop and I look at things, I'm looking at both charts. And why I'm looking at this one is because they are going right into their 100-day moving average. And remember, hedge funds used 100-day moving averages to determine what they're going to do with the stocks. Also, big funds, big hedge funds, big money managers, they use the 100-day moving average to determine what they're going to do. So this is make or break point, especially for somebody like UPS. If I'm going to do anything with this, I need to get over this 100-day moving average, and I want to get over this resistance of 166.34. So I need green candlesticks that get up here like this. That would be $170 a share. So I'm pretty much breaking out over here. And this goes back to when I say buy high, sell higher. And probably some of you guys don't like that because you're missing out on profits. But if you just remember that if you take your let me hear this, get rid of price, get rid of what the company is, get rid of all of this, and just look at your trends and whatnot and get rid of all these numbers, then it really doesn't matter. All that matters is how much you can afford. If you can afford $100 and whatever $60 stock, whatever this was, that's what you need to know in the end. So just remember, go based on, you're going to make the most money if you go based on patterns and pattern recognition, not price. If you go based on price, it's going to get you every single time. Dow adds 100 points. NASDAQ doesn't. Let's see. The S&P is even. The NASDAQ was down 1.5% earlier, but now it's only down 0.5%. So we'll see what happens today. I really thought that yesterday when all the futures were up, then I thought that's what it was going to kind of sit at. Biogen. Let's look at Biogen. I have a lot of puts on Biogen. A lot. This is if I get assigned all of my puts on Biogen, it's going to be my largest position that I hold in my portfolio. But I don't think I'm going to get assigned any on Biogen. The big thing about Biogen, I believe, is let me look on here. Give me 1 second. I'm just looking for the PDUFA date. Biogen's PDUFA date for aducanumab that's their Alzheimer's drug, is June 7th. And the PDUFA date is when the FDA gives you a yay or a nay. So on your drug, they were told last year, wait a second, let me find it. This is when they were told, this gap down from all the way, that big gap, that was when they were told your drug didn't work. Go back and do more homework. Okay, so they went back and did more homework. Did their homework? No. Dads with a purpose. June got delayed. March got delayed. March. I hope that March got delayed and it got moved to June. PDUFA. It's actually, I'll type it in. PDUFA. That's what it stands for. So, this is when then they went back. The FDA told them that was good. Went back up. So this was bad. So it's been this. All of these movements have been coming down to aducanumab, and now we're gonna see what happens with the June 7th date, unless Dads with a Purpose is right. It got moved again, but they just moved it a little bit ago. So the PDUFA date is going to be huge, and if for some reason that this is correct, I mean, if for some reason that this drug works, and the tough part is, and the reason that they're getting hit so hard is because nobody does Alzheimer's well. There's no good Alzheimer's treatment out there, and this is the one that is most promising that's ever been created. The FDA is not liking the efficacy. Is not liking the safety of this drug. My point of view, and a lot of other physicians' point of view, is that from what I've read a lot of this, is we already have terminally ill patients that are really, really struggling. So, and the safety measures that the FDA is complaining about are not, how do I say this? I'm trying to think of a way to say this without sounding bad. I think that the safety concerns are less than the life-threatening illness. And I think that, why are they so hard, Mo? Why is it so hard to say? Because I have to be like appropriate. The safety, whatever. I think they should give the drug and to the patients. And I think it's very interesting. You guys should go and read. Just type in aducanumab. I'll type it in here. Go and start reading about it. There's a lot of physicians that are in that realm that are saying that we should be able to give this drug because it would help patients greater than the safety concerns would hurt them. So we didn't even do this one yet. So we're in a downtrend. It just did a sweet spot reversal. Man, this thing has just been consolidating in this range. And you can see why it's consolidating. We're just consolidating within all four of our major moving averages, just bouncing around, just going on like that. So what we're going to need is some kind of turn up with our red stochastic line moving, or we're going to need it dropping. I just need some kind of confirmation. I'll go either way, but we need some kind of confirmation. We got a nice candle waiting on 80. I don't know what that means, Skylar. Oh, this GOEV. Okay. Well, that's good. NIO is partnered with Volkswagen. Is that Russian? I don't know. Yeah, you're right. So Llewellyn, you're right about that. There's no volume coming from this thing. The only way that we're going to see volume in this, and everybody in the whole freaking industry is waiting for this June 7th date. And it was supposed to be yesterday. That's what it was supposed to be. So unfortunately, it's not. And yeah, that's it. LAD. Oh, we'll look at Ulta. I think Ulta's that beauty supply store. Oh, I like that. Yeah. This is a power stock, I'm assuming. Very weak power stock. So, guys, somebody tell me what that other power stock was that I said with the very tight cluster. I just want to make a comparison. I don't remember what it was. So this is a power stock technically because we're making new highs. Well, let's see. I'm sorry. This is not a power stock. I looked at it wrong. Not a power stock at all. What we need is we need to be breaking out over this high to make power stock. So if this keeps moving up and we make a high over that, then we have a power stock. But it's blasting off. So it is blasting off. We still have 20 minutes, 21 minutes to go. Bid and ask is $1. Too much. Let this settle down. If you want to do something right now, go ahead and day trade it, but don't do it right now. I already did Viacom. Oh, yeah, Viacom. That's what it was. It was Viacom. So, okay, I'm going to make a point here. Do not get confused. This is not a power stock. Ulta is not a power stock. But let's say that let me black this out. I want to make this is a teaching point. This is not a power stock. Whoops. Because I want to show you guys what a good power stock is versus a bad one. So let's say that this was not here. And this is all we had on our chart. Okay. So let's say, for example, we are making 52-week highs right now. We're not making 52-week highs. Just bear with me for teaching purposes. This is what I do not want to see when it comes to a power stock. Making new highs and kind of, it's wide and it's going sideways. It's not going straight up. So we do have this width in here where we had a big drop and we're very slowly making these all-time highs or 52-week highs. Now let's compare this to Viacom, which was like that. You can see how tight this cluster was coming all the way down, and you can see how it was just kind of a quick move, straight move, very powerful move. It wasn't a move like this. It was more of a vertical move. So so when you have power stocks, there are different kind of power stocks. These are the most powerful ones. You just broke out over your previous highs and just started skyrocketing and just continuously making those new highs. So that is a good thing for you guys to remember when you see power stocks. There's different kinds of power stocks. So keep up with them. My portfolio turned green today for the first time. Congrats. That's wonderful. I'm going to start hawking my YouTube channel if we don't do an interesting ticker. Tell me what interesting ticker you want, Spicer. Feel very powerful. Very powerful. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what she said. Okay. Well, we've been going for 48 minutes. JP Morgan. Let's do JP Morgan. JP Morgan is, to me, the only company that has any chance of competing with Square as far as mobile payments go right now. So technically, yes, JP Morgan is a power stock, and it's just the start of it. It's a very weak power stock, though. We are getting some of that movement, but where did this price start? This was $140. So we just broke out over a high. We're just starting to go power stock, and it's actually, instead of it going straight up on us, it's kind of starting to go sideways and just consolidate on us. And you can see it's consolidating between these two prices, just kind of bouncing around in here. So we really need something to break it up. The banks are going to lead the market. Let's see what XLF is doing. XLF is the S&P ETF of all the big banks. And it's looking exactly like JP Morgan. It's funny, XLF looks like all of the big banks. So it's kind of just doing the same thing as JP Morgan, consolidating in this area. Is EM a power stock? I'm assuming you mean everything money. So, yeah. Let's see. K, long shot equals stock mob. Kellogg, reviving at the bottom. Yeah, this is perfect. Throw a tracker share on here. This is great. This is a dog stock, perfect dog stock. Let me zoom out 6 months. So we're bouncing around, came down to the bottom, and from December through February, it literally sat on the bottom of the trend and did nothing. No volume was coming into it. No volume was coming out of it. It just kept trickling lower and lower in price. This is a great example of why you would throw a tracker share on here. Let's say you threw a tracker share on right here at $62 and you rode this for a long time. The most you could have lost is, it goes to $56. So a couple dollars a share, but it was in your portfolio the whole time. Now you're seeing this thing turn up on you. Once this thing breaks through that 32% line, the candles will start turning green. You'll start moving. You've already gone through 2 of your moving averages here, 50 and 25 day. So let's get some green candlesticks moving up. Get this through. Whoever found this, great find. Good job. Kellogg is going to be good for you. Now, you will face resistance coming up here in, so this is 62.40. You're going to be facing your 100-day moving average, but let's see. How is Paul taking it now that Mackenzie Bezos is... She got remarried already? Oh, my gosh. Wow. Okay. Short Paul. Capri has a strong 15-minute chart, but I think a little gap up. Let's see what Capri is. Capri Holdings, I assume. Let's see. Yeah, this is not much. Oh my gosh, everybody loves Dropbox. I just don't get it. I literally don't get it. Okay, so this turned into a downtrend today, even though it bumped up. It has a high bid and ask price. So this, as we can see, when you have a high bid and ask price, you go up and you come right back down. So, this is tough. Don't have a lot of shares on this, Llewellyn. Don't have a lot of shares. Dropbox. I don't like Dropbox. If this is indeed Dropbox, it is. Dropbox is one of the worst cloud services. So this thing is trying to make a sweet spot reversal and roll up on us. Who uses Dropbox? I don't know. I remember using Dropbox when it first came out. They were on the cutting edge. That thing was so sweet. I loved it so much. And then Google came in and iCloud came in and boom, that was the end of that. I don't know. And who else was there? There was iDrive. They were terrible. They are terrible. I just don't get it. Especially when Google Drive gives you tons of free memory. I think they give you 2 gigs of free memory or something. It's insane. So if you want to do something with this, I think I would advise not doing anything with it right now. If you want to throw a tracker share on long, you can if you want, but that's up to you. Funny part was when the world found out she was announced. Mackenzie is married to another bald guy. Nice. I swapped to Google and I never looked back. Yeah, I mean, I prefer iCloud, but I do use Google. Don and I use Google to share everything. I remember going back in the day when you would want to share a video, you would have to like pay 99 cents to send it through like bigemails.com or something like that. So once you go bald, you never go back. Marathon Oil, sure. I don't know why I'm still on here. I guess I'm having fun. Ooh, look at GameStop pulling back a little bit. The Dow is up. Nasdaq's fallen suit. Let's see. I'm going to see what this buzz is doing. Nothing. See what Microsoft is doing. Down. Apple. Down. I think I have a covered call. Yeah, I have a covered call on Apple at 145. Let's see what Boeing's doing. There was somebody that came out earlier this week, and they bought. Let me see what BP is doing. BP is down 2%. Zach probably wants to jump off a bridge now. All right. I want to, before I do whatever, what was I doing? I don't remember. Gross. iCloud is Google Drive for the tech illiterate. I will say iCloud is not for sharing. It's not a good platform for that, but it's a very good platform for the Apple ecosystem. Yeah, see, Zach wants to jump off a bridge. It's very good for the Apple ecosystem that lets you automatically, right when you save something on your computer, it's on your phone and your iPad. Where was that? There was a story. I should have saved it. Somebody did something with an airline overnight. Man. Here we go. GE nears a deal with AirCap, whatever this is, to create a behemoth aircraft lesser. Okay, so what I thought this was going to be is I was complaining about, oh, thank you, Neil. I'll do MRO. What I was talking about is, what I was thinking this was going to be is that there was going to be a competitor to Boeing and or Airbus, but it's not. They're going to do something and manufacture with Boeing in some regard. So I was pretty disappointed about that. I thought that there was going to be some kind of competition for Boeing, but no, they're too big. It's going to take, I don't know what it's going to take to get that going in there. Okay, so this is doing pretty much what all other oil is doing. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. So it's down. I mean, it's just following suit with all other oil. No big deal. Pulling back. Let's see what our line chart looks like. See if we can find any W formations. And this is perfect. So this is exactly what we want. We created nice W formations going all the way up. And we're just doing another one. So I don't want this thing to just keep going and going and going, because things that keep going like this, they pull back and they come right back to here. So what I want to see is a little pullback here and get up there tomorrow or Wednesday. While I'm doing this, so if you want to do something with this, let's see, is this a power stock? No, it's not. It's actually a 50%er, just like, which makes sense because BP was a 50%er too. You have your top, you have your bottom, and you have your 50% right in the middle. It's coming up to that, and this is going to be very difficult to break over. All of this area for you new people is called overhang. Go back to, actually just go to the, Airbus does make great planes. Go to the Everything Money playlist and go to Stock 101 Trading Series, and you can see all about 50% rule, overhang, all of that. Dun, 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 dun. Companies that compete with Boeing will have to be backed by the Chinese. I actually, unfortunately, probably agree with you. But I do not support it, and I hope that it does not happen, because I would like more separation from China, not more integration. Do we have any patrons from China on here? I don't know. All right, that's enough for today. I'm tired. You guys have a great day, and I will see you on tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern, and we'll do the live stream, and then I'll see you guys on Thursday twice, and we'll go from there. If you guys like this, if you guys like the way I do chart reading, join the Patreon, the Mo's Muscles level. It's $55 right now. There's only 39 spots left, I think, and you're going to get full access to me. I'm going to make you videos. I do all of this little stuff. I'm just in touch with you guys all day. So that price is only going to keep going up. Once those 39 spots are sold out, the price is going to go up again. So you guys do this. And by the way, this is long-term trading, swing trading, day trading. It's not just day trading. I really don't day trade. All my patrons know I don't day trade. I do long kind of stuff like this MRO deal and everything else. So you guys have a great day, and we'll see ya. Peace.